I feel way better, a lot better. It was a good warning sign. The importance of hydration, sleep, and not let the little things get to you within the game, like referees. Wendell's okay. He's going to go through a shooting slot and see how he feels, prior to.
Jalen described yesterday's performance as a professional. When you hear a professional performance, how would you best define it?
I really think it just goes to, we did what our standards were set out at the beginning of the year. We didn't rattle in the beginning of a game. We know the game's going to come at you in different waves, and the momentums are shifting. We sat down and guarded, stuck to the game plan, and then, shared and moved the basketball the right way.
Jalen said recently that he's focused on evolving, and that keeps him present. What does him evolving look like within this team construct?
I think it for him, I really do believe it's just staying present in the moment. I think he's talked about that a ton, just being in the moment wherever he is within the game. If that's one play offensively or defensively, just staying in the moment and continuing to communicate with his teammates and just staying as present as possible as the game goes on.
And when you guys got Desmond, a lot of the focus was on his shooting, but what is his impact driving the ball done to elevate this offense?
Well, how teams are playing him, they're top locking him, not letting him come off a pin down. So his ability to get the ball in the pick and roll and make plays is very good for us right now.
Why did you guys decide over the offseason you want to play a little faster, implement more pace after the style you played? Obviously had some success last year.
Well, a lot of that was based on our defense. We were looking at our numbers and saying that, okay, we were fourth in transition rate, but we were far behind in efficiency. So a lot of that was based on knowing how good we'll defend. We've got to start converting it. So if we can play faster once we've gotten the stop and be more efficient in transition, that's where it began.
Aside from strategy, what makes a team good at moving the ball and sharing the ball?
Just trust. I think trusting and knowing the right play is the right play. If you draw two, you got to make sure you come off of it and you're finding the open man. I think that's the right thing within our system.
I know Steve Kerr mentioned it last week, that the pace of the league, the intensity that games are played at, he feels like contributes to some of the injury uptick that we've seen around the league. When you decided to play a faster style, is that something you have to kind of consider with a medical staff, like the impact on players of playing faster, things like that?
I think you have to consider all things. You have to look at your team if your team's capable of doing it. And I think those are some things that you have to look, because like you said, the uptick in the pace has moved up in the league. And so our ability to know the type of team we have, and you're not trying to run at a frantic pace, you're trying to push the ball and get early looks. That's the most important piece.
You said last night it would be determined whether or not Jalen could go tonight. He's out, obviously, but what went into that decision that he's not available?
I just think in these moments, not really ready to bump into the back-to-backs. Just his minutes bumped up a little bit last night, so just making sure we're looking over the long haul versus just this moment here.
Do you guys expect down the line for him to be able to play both of them back-to-back?
I expect it. We'll see how it goes as he responds to each game.
As a head coach, how do you think about the role of the mid-range shot? Obviously, you've seen a significant decline in that shot over years, but there's some guys that obviously still shoot quite a bit. Jalen Brown being one of those guys. But when you're kind of thinking about your offense, what is the role of that shot?
I really think it's, take the first one. Let me rephrase that. So in our transition, playing with pace, you want to get the rim first. I think that's the high priority. And then if you can get to the free throw line, that's the next priority. Then if you're wide open for a three, you knock it down. And then you have to take what the defense gives you, because the defenses are so good now. You've got to be able to take what the game gives you. And sometimes that is the mid-range pull-up too. Now, depending on when that happens in the clock, you got to be smart about it. But you really always want to be able to draw two defenders to find the open man no matter what.
Is it fair to say, like, early in the shot clock, a mid-range shot might not be the best look, but if it's if you try those other things, then at that point it might make sense?
I think defenses are so good right now, sometimes you have to take that first open look.
Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you all.